Hello and welcome. Today we're going to unravel a truly fascinating story, one that connects something as simple as a late-night pizza delivery with the world of international espionage and some, well, incredibly high-stakes betting. It sounds a little bit crazy, doesn't it? But what if I told you that the very first warning sign of a major global crisis wasn't some secret message, but a sudden surge in pepperoni pizza orders? Let's get right into it.
For decades, believe it or not, intelligence analysts have used this surprisingly simple and, you could say, delicious indicator to get a sense that something big was about to go down. Turns out, a nation's biggest secrets might just be hiding in its appetite.
Now, this idea really got its start back during the Cold War. The logic was pretty straightforward. Whenever there's major military planning or a big international crisis, it means people are stuck in their offices, working long, stressful hours. And, well, what do people need when they're working late? They need to eat.
Soviet spies were actually some of the first people to pick up on this. Seriously. Along with counting how many cars were in the Pentagon parking lot after hours, they were also keeping an eye on how many pizza delivery guys were showing up. It was, a pretty low-tech but surprisingly effective way to gather intelligence. But this quirky little spy trick didn't stay a secret forever. It became a public phenomenon, really, all thanks to one very observant Domino's pizza owner, right there in Washington, D.C. And this now famous quote actually came about after that Domino's owner, a man named Frank Meeks, started talking about a pattern he was seeing from his shop, a pattern that just seemed way too consistent to be a coincidence. So what did he notice? Well, Meeks saw that right before the U.S. invasion of Panama back in 1989, the number of late-night pizza orders going to government buildings suddenly tripled. And believe me, this was not a one-time thing. Time and time again, the pattern just kept showing up. Before the Grenada invasion, for instance, orders more than doubled. During the whole Clinton impeachment saga, a single Domino's got a staggering $2,600 order from the White House. This jump in pizza orders was consistently happening right before the big headlines broke.
Frank Meeks sadly passed away back in 2004, but his brilliant little observation has taken on a whole new life. It's been completely supercharged by modern technology. What used to be a spy's secret or just something a local business owner noticed is now, well, it's public knowledge.
This timeline here just shows you the whole fascinating journey, from secret agents counting pizza boxes to websites that track it all automatically for anyone to see. It's a perfect example of the kinds of stories we love to break down. By the way, if you like our videos, please like, share, and subscribe to follow us so you won't miss any exciting updates.
And this just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? The old, shadowy tools of the spy have been replaced by the everyday things you and I use. Secret agents are out, and public Twitter accounts are in. Classified reports have been replaced by websites you can visit for free.
So all this public data, it isn't just a fun fact anymore. It has led to some very real and very high-stakes financial situations, as we saw with a pretty recent event involving Venezuela. And there it was again. The Pizza Index predicted it. A website that tracks this stuff showed a huge spike in pizza orders just hours before the raid was announced. But here's the twist. This time, it seems some people use that information to place enormous bets on what's called a prediction market. Think of it kind of like the stock market, but instead of buying shares in a company, people are betting on whether or not something will happen in the future. So, just a few days before the raid, the odds that Venezuela's President Maduro would be removed from office by the end of January were sitting at a tiny 6%. I mean, it was considered a real long shot. But even with those terrible odds, 3 brand new, completely anonymous digital wallets, which are just like online accounts for digital money, wagered a combined $66,800 that he would be removed. And what happened after the raid was announced? Their total profit was over $600,000. So the big question is, where did they get their information? How did they know to make such a risky bet? This timeline has definitely raised a lot of red flags. It's led many people to suspect some kind of insider trading was going on. In fact, some U.S. lawmakers have even started calling for new rules to stop government officials from betting on these kinds of markets. And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or in this case, the $630,000 question. We might never know for sure if these bettors had a secret leak from the White House, or if they were just really, really good at watching publicly available data, like the Pizza Index. This whole story, from Cold War spies to online bettors, it really highlights a massive shift in how information moves around in our world today, and who gets to see it. You see, the traditional gatekeepers of information, The big newspapers who used to decide when we learned about something, they're being bypassed. The whole idea of who knows first is being completely turned on its head, right before our eyes.
So what does this all mean for us? What does it mean when a country's most sensitive secrets might be predicted by its collective appetite? It's a powerful and strange new reality to think about. The fog of war is definitely still there, but these days it just might smell a lot less like smoke and a lot more like pizza.